Let's take a look at some sporting action. Now, the Pietermaritzburg hospitality industry is experiencing an influx of runners and visitors for the 96th edition of the Comrades Marathon, which starts at the City Hall on Sunday morning. All participants, of course, required to run a standard marathon of 42.2 kilometres in 4 hours 50. Now, the race sets off in Pietermaritzburg on Sunday morning at 5:30 a.m., finishes 12 hours later in Durban. Altogether, 25 Comrades Marathon runners have been disqualified from this year's race for cheating on their qualifying times. So we're going to be joined via Zoom by Mqondisi Ngcobo. He's the Chairperson of the Comrades Marathon Association. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us as Comrades Marathon Association.
Perhaps you could speak to the preparations underway ahead of the Comrades Marathon on Sunday. What does it look like as we speak?
As we speak, it's all systems go. We are ready to open our expo 10 o'clock on Thursday, and we will have our media briefing at 14 hours on the same day, just to go through the state of readiness. And obviously on Friday, we have our elite runners briefing. The expo will open from 10 to 19 hours on Thursday and Friday, and obviously from 9 to 16 hours on Saturday.
Mqondisi, walk us through how many countries are participating this time around, perhaps how it's grown since we emerged out of the pandemic. How many entrants have also entered?
We have about 84 countries that are participating, including countries from the African continent, with India having the highest number of entrants at 403 runners, followed by Zimbabwe, our neighbors, with 255 runners, followed in third place by the United Kingdom with 224 runners. You remember last year that we had kept our entries to 15,000 because we were emerging from the hiatus of COVID-19. This year we decided to increase the entry cap to 20,000, which we reached within three weeks of opening our entries. And we're very excited that the race is back it's showing that it is going back to what it was prior to COVID-19 in 2019. And the excitement and the enthusiasm from runners, athletes, their supporters and families, and the entire public is quite pleasing at this point.
Absolutely. We're looking at the safety measures that have been put in place as well to ensure that those who participate are obviously safe, and that those who are participating are healthy and fit. Talk to us about what you've done on that front.
You will remember that the first 30 kilometers of the race, there are roadworks on the N3, and obviously it does affect the R103, which is the route from the Pietermaritzburg City Hall to the 30-kilometer mark in Cato Ridge. We've been working closely with the traffic authorities, SANRAL, and obviously our safety officers to try and advise us in terms of the measure that we needed to put in place to ensure that the route is runnable on the day and safe for runners, and we can assure our runners and athletes and all our participants that we put all measures in place to ensure that when they start at the City Hall at 5:30 on Sunday morning, their safety is our priority.
So obviously also speaking to some of the disqualifications that have happened as a result, given the rules and regulations, perhaps you could speak to that. On what basis? And the prize money itself, what's at stake here?
Absolutely. You remember that we issued a statement yesterday. As you correctly put it in your opening statement, you have to run a time of 4 hours 15 minutes in order for a standard marathon in order to qualify. So when we were doing verification, which took us about 2 days last week, matching the results from the events that the runners had submitted with what we have on our database, we were able to pick up about 25 athletes who had submitted incorrect information. As a result, we have been in contact with those athletes in their respective clubs, and we've advised that they are disqualified from participating in this year's event. And obviously, so that we take a firmer stance on this kind of transgression, we are going to suspend them for another 2 editions of Comrades Marathon, which is 2024 and 2025. And obviously, we are excited in terms of the prize money. You recall when we launched the race in November last year, we had placed the prize money for the winner at 300,000, but we had promised our runners that if our financial circumstances do change, we will indeed review the prize purse. And we are very excited to have announced about 3 to 4 weeks ago that we have increased the prize money back to 500,000. And obviously, for someone who is going to break the down run best time for ladies and men, they will also pocket an extra 500,000. And obviously, if that winner is from South Africa, they will also pocket an extra 200,000. And if they are from KwaZulu-Natal, they will pocket an extra 60,000. They may walk away with more than 1.2 million rand on the day.
Well, there's no doubt that with the increase of participants, there's obviously going to impact the value chain with regards to tourism and KZN at large, perhaps a much needed boost for the economy in the province. So again, we'll leave that conversation there for now. Thank you very much for joining us. Mqondisi Ngcobo is the chairperson of the Comrades Marathon Association, chatting about the 96th Comrades Marathon that's taking place on Sunday, the 11th of June.